Welcome back to A Home to Love, and if you're new here, my name is Delina, and yes, I'm sick. I, I started coming down sick yesterday, and I'm still not feeling it. You can hear it in my voice, but I didn't want to leave you guys without a video this coming week. And I also had the honor and the privilege of doing a collaboration with Dawn from Ginger Jar Lane. I love Dawn's channel. She is a very creative person. She has a wonderful aesthetic. And if you all, after you watch this video, would you please head over to Dawn's channel and show her a little love and maybe subscribe? And I'm going to insert a little intro here of her explaining her channel.
Hi there, welcome to my little corner of YouTube. My name is Dawn and I am from the channel Ginger Jar Lane, and I would love to invite you to come over and check out my channel, check out my Christmas decor after you finish watching Delina's channel. It would be so wonderful to have you over here. Make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know that you're coming over from Delina's channel. I would love to meet you. And let's get started with our decorating. Back to you, Delina.
All right, y'all, here's how it's going to go down. I am not going to do a decorate with you today, but I am going to give you a tour of my living room. So the garland and the tree are next week's video. So that's where I go more in depth on how I did those. So that'll be a separate video. So everything else, I'm just going to give you a tour, and I hope you understand. And hopefully next week I will be feeling better. Right now it's just sitting there and it's just, look. So also, if you could, and if you would, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please do a comment or an emoji if you don't want to make a formal comment, and share, and please subscribe. I would love to see my channel grow. I love you guys. You're such a wonderful, uplifting, positive community, and I can't say enough how pleased I am with that when others are struggling with some, not so great subscribers or people that make comments. And it's just unnecessary. It really is. So, all right, I'm going to turn this camera around and hope my voice will hold out, and I will give you a tour of my living room. Also, if you hear some noise in the background, I have an excavator behind me digging out the ravine, and it's been going on now for 3 days, and it's just, I've had enough. But that's the extra background noise that you hear. All right, this is my living room. I'm going to give you just a pan. And then, of course, you can see my kitchen. And then on the other side here is my dining room, which it was last week's video that contains a whole lot of wonderful ideas if you've missed that video. All right, and all the way around, down the hallway, and back. All right, let's get started. Now, I left this little table. I never know what to do on this little table. It's so small, and to put any kind of decoration just does not make sense. So this time I left it completely bare. We have Jasper taking a little siesta here on the couch. Now on the couch, I left the pillows. I just went with two green, they are pillow covers that I made. And pillow covers are fantastic because, one, the cost, two, the storage of them. You just change them out and you're good to go. So I just left that pretty plain Jane. Now up here we have that swan that I still love, which is a poster off of Amazon. I did change out the wreath to a snowy, more neutral one with just pine cones. Yeah, that excavator's driving me nuts. On my little shelf, I just put this little Merry Christmas sign that I think I got from Hobby Lobby last year. And then really nothing's changed on here, just those bells and the glasses. I did change out that for, this is a Hobby Lobby picture that I love, that I'm always changing out my art. Okay, we're gonna move on. Still loving the drapes from Unicurt. I will link those in the description below. And if you look out the window, there's the excavator. Now I can see all the way to the neighborhood behind me. I ain't thrilled with it. So here's my antique typewriter. I added some berry sprigs, some snowy pine sprigs, and a ribbon to that. And I think it's pretty. I love it. Change it up throughout the seasons. And it's definitely a conversational piece. Now, like I said, here's my garland that is next week's video. Again, my husband did not want me blocking the TV. So all I did is add some candles and different candlesticks, very eclectic, to each side of the TV. And normally I would have a screensaver Christmas one on the TV, but again, I'm not feeling that hot, and I'm just trying to get through this, guys. So you do have a video this week. Okay, we maybe, I think once, have run a fireplace in here. We're in southern Georgia. It doesn't get that cold. I do have some white birch logs in there just to kind of not make it look like a deep, dark cave. Nothing on the hearth, because when we are all here for Christmas, we sit on the hearth, we sit on the couch, we sit on the chairs. We use the dining room chairs. So I kind of keep it to a minimum. Now my coffee table, you will see another reindeer thrifted, a very large doily. I have my dough bowl with the apples that I have not changed since fall. So I just moved it over here. I stacked 2 small dough bowls on top of each other with some pine cones. And then that urn that was there that I thrifted, and it was there for fall, I just took everything out of that, and I just took a whole bunch of my picks that I've used throughout the house and just gathered them together and put them in there. Now these I spray painted with copper paint, and you will see that in the next video. They were a gold, and I took my favorite copper spray paint, took them out back to my stump out back, and spray paint. That stump looks hilarious. It's got every color of spray paint on it because that's where I go to spray paint and everything. But that's how that looks. Now moving over, we have where my Christmas tree sits. Now I told you before, I'm not doing the grand Christmas tree, I'm doing the slim Christmas tree. And I put it in a basket, and this is what it looks like all decorated. And if you're really interested, like I said, next week, I give you a detailed tutorial on how I decorated it. I even have my little tiny copper molds inside of this. If I had a larger tree, I put my larger copper molds in this. But it's just done in browns, creams, greens, bronze, copper, some homemade little ornaments. Those are my little homemade Scrabble ornaments. Now up top, I just hung some bells from that peg rack. That's a new copper thrifted pot that I got. That star is another thrifted item that I hung up there, and everything else is pretty much the same. So you don't have to change everything in your home for Christmas. Now down here, I have those 3 Crocs still. I have that scarf that I bought a second one from the one that was on the dining room table. And with my rolling pins, I took my pine stems that some I've had from years ago, some are from Dollar General, some from Hobby Lobby, some from Walmart. And I just stuffed them in amongst the rolling pins. same silver utensils in that crock. I've not changed that. Only thing I did here was add a very small tree from Dollar Tree. It's kind of a frosted blue one, and I just put it in the crock. And I added a couple scoops. One's a copper one that I recently thrifted, and the other one I've had forever from a primitive store, and that's the wire that I had to run. I have no outlet on this wall, so I had to run a extension cord all the way for my Christmas tree. But, and over here you have Angus, my orange tabby. I have put the throw that I had over on the couch, I folded it up and put it on the back of the chair. And this is the fabric that I thrifted that originally come from Hobby Lobby, I found out. And I made a pillow cover for it, and I went back looking for more, and they did not have it. So, and that is my living room. I know this is a short video, guys. I understand, and I am so sorry that it has to be this way in order for me to get a video out to y'all. But I so appreciate your support, your love, and this is what it all looks like together. And Lord willing, I will see you next week, and the excavator won't be here next week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.